Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 preview series where we're going to cover T1. Yes, the New York Yankees, the Montreal Canadiens, the Green Bay Packers, if you will, of LOL Esports. If you're a North American traditional sports fan, I'm sure if you're in Europe, you can compare it to a soccer team or a football team or whatever. You know, you can find a comparison. A team that was really good many years ago, they have a big fan base, therefore people hate them because, oh my God, they have so many fans, but yet they aren't winning. And yet the team does win a lot. It just hasn't recently won any finals, which is a thing. So T1 are the 2 seed in the LCK, losing to Gen G in the finals. The last 3 years, the Korean 2 seed has been able to get out of group stage 2 quarters at the very least. Last year, T1 were the 2 seed and were runner-up. The year before, Gen G finished in semifinals. In 2020, DRX was the 2 seed, finishing in quarters. So obviously a new format, but it's pretty solid. Pretty safe to say the LCK 2 seed will be a top 8, if not better, team. Their coach is Tom. Tom was an assistant on T1 at Worlds 2020 and at MSI 2023 he was the head coach, going 14-12 overall. The T1 have swapped coaches a few times, at least. They've had 3 different coaches in the last 14 months before Bangy was pulled, and then Bangy was gone after MSI, and Tom took over before MSI and Tom took over. So T1 definitely going through a few different captains at the head of the ship. So T1. A young team at 21.6 years old, despite having the GOAT in mid lane, Faker. So Zeus at 19 years old looked okay in summer. This team without Faker went 4-18. We have to keep that in mind. So Zeus went and had a 2.9 KDA, 8.4 CS per minute, 60.2 KP. Those numbers are okay. 8.4 is great for a top laner. He gets resources, that's without a doubt. 390 gold per minute, that's 21.2% of the team's gold. 496 damage per minute, that's 23.5%. That is more than most tops. He is definitely a third tier carry on the team. Top side of the rift on T1 definitely eats quite a bit of the team's squad's damage. On average, he wasn't super dominant in the LCK, but we do have to keep in mind the LCK is one of the best. It's LPL or LCK depending on the day of the year, the day of the week, the month. It doesn't it's close. So Zeus 70 gold up, 5 CS, and 185 XP, 14 solo kills. In 64 games, he played 13 champions. I want to emphasize that because I've been arguing, well, not arguing, but you could say having a discussion with somebody in one of the threads under the Loud video about out of the box. And this is out of the box. And yes, T1 played 2 times as many games as Loud, but 13 champions, 64 games, double-digit champion usage, out of the box sort of deal. So Zeus is really good. I'm all over the place today. Sorry about that. But Zeus is really good. One of the best top laners when he wants to be. Still very, very young, and we have to keep that in mind. Internationally, had a 2.2 KDA, 7.9 CS per minute, 58.5 KP. So in the LCK, he does well, but when he goes international, he starts to just be average. Like, these numbers are very average. 415 gold per minute, 539 damage per minute. So still gets quite a bit of gold, actually more gold when he's international versus when he's domestic, and deals a good amount of damage. You're not going to find a lot of top laners at events dealing over 500 DPM over what is a 59 games of a career internationally. Also, at 15 minutes on average, he's actually quite ahead of his opponents in top lane. 570 gold, 9 CS, 355 XP, 28 solo kills in 59 games. So on average, a solo kill every other game. Up 9 CS, so every game he goes even. He's also going 18 over his opponent. So it's clear that he is better than the majority of international competition. It's just a matter of when the games get to the mid to late stage, it's not as great. So 40-19, Worlds 2022, he would be runner-up last year. MSI 2022 runner-up, and this past MSI in semifinals, third, fourth. Oner, 20 years old in the jungle, another young player with a lot of international experience already. His number is very facilitator-oriented this past split, even more so than I expected. A 3.2 KDA, 5.4 CS per minute, 77.9 KP. That is extremely involved, and he gives up a little bit of farm to do so. But honestly, when you see nearly 80 KP, a below 5 CS is, I mean, think about Bean J yesterday. His CS versus KP was an indicator of a pure facilitator, and Oner can probably do both. He is very talented and extremely young. So, I mean, these numbers I think are very interesting. 340 gold per minute is 18.5% of the team's gold. 327 damage per minute is over 15% of the damage. On average, due to that facilitator-oriented mindset, he's not ahead at 15 minutes, really. Only up 70 gold, down 1 CS and 80 XP. 4 solo kills and 15 champions picked in 64 games in the LCK and LCK playoffs. Internationally, he's 50-23. Worlds 2021, he finished third, fourth. Last year, runner-up. MSI 2022 runner-up, and 23 third, fourth. In those events and 73 games, he has a 2.9 KDA, 5.9 CS per minute, 67.9 KP. And this is why I was surprised by his numbers. Internationally and in years past, Oner has been more carry oriented. Like nearly 6 CS per minute below 70 KP. Like that is pure carry. And at this point in his career, he's still developing. And maybe this past split was a good indicator of him developing that facilitator oriented mindset. Not only that, the meta did allow for that, but we saw some players never try and adapt, and they just still tried to play carries and lose games. So I think that that's something to note. 369 gold per minute, 341 damage per minute. On average internationally, he's slightly ahead of other junglers. 220 gold, 3 CS, 72 XP, 10 solo kills in 73 games. In mid lane, we have Faker. I think Faker really doesn't need an introduction, but if you're brand new to League, he's 27 years old. He is considered to be the greatest of all time. This past split, he did miss time due to an injury. The team was very bad without him. Like I started this video, I think 4-18 was their record without him. Or maybe 4-16, something like that. Like 4 wins is definitely the case. But regardless, they were very bad. It really cemented to me just how important Faker is. And I think people kind of need to accept that. 3 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 65.1 KP. So pretty average numbers. But Faker is a facilitator. And when he gets put on carries, it upsets the hell out of me. Because Zeus should be the carry. Like KT play the way T1 should play, despite T1 beating KT, if that makes sense. Like KT know their strengths. And if they could just adopt that as T1 and actually get Zeus more carry-oriented games and less to Faker, I think it would be a big deal. 404 gold per minute is 21.5% of the team's gold. 585 damage per minute, 26.5% of the damage, so he is the secondary carry when it comes to damage. On average, he's not getting ahead of LCK mids, which is pretty standard. The LCK mid pool is very deep. On average, Faker's down 90 gold and 35 XP. Only 6 solo kills in 46 games, so 4-14. 18 game difference. 12 champions played. Internationally, he has 152-63, so 215 games played. Worlds 2013, 15-16, he would win. 17-22, runner-up. 19-21, semifinals. So Faker has always gotten to at least semifinals at Worlds. MSI 2016-17, first. 15-22, second. 19-23, third, fourth. So in general, in an international event, Faker has never not gotten to semifinals. Across these 215 games, he's a 2.9 KDA, 8.6 CS per minute, 61.2 KP. 411 gold per minute, 519 damage per minute, and on average is average. 235 gold up, CS and XP are even. 69 solo kills in 215 games. But he's not, like I said, those numbers are average, but like, this is a long career, starting 10 years ago to now. So you go past your prime, and now you're putting up numbers that probably aren't as strong. It's going to wash out the strong numbers from his prime. It is what it is. Faker, in my opinion, now is what he is. He's a facilitator. And obviously the shot caller and the morale and everything else this team needs, because when he was not in the lineup and Poby was, it was a tire fire. So that's a thing. 80 carry, Gumayusi, 21 years old. These numbers are very good. Better than I thought they'd be. 4.1 KDA, 10.6 CS per minute, 72.1 KP. He was fed, to say the very least. 470 gold per minute, which is over 25% of the team's gold. 612 damage per minute is over 28% of the damage. On average, up 50 gold, 6 CS, down 110 XP. Only 4 solo kills, 15 champions in 64 games. Like Zeus, but probably not as high. Like Zeus, I think Zeus can be the best top laner in the world at any time. He isn't right now, but by the end of this tournament, it would not surprise me at all if we came away from it and say, wow, Zeus took over. That's the thing. Guma, very similar boat. I don't think he played overly well for the last year and a half. Not quite at the standard that we had thought he would a year and a half ago. But these numbers and just his play in general have shown that he is still extremely talented. Internationally, like Oner, he is 50-23. Worlds 2021 would finish in semifinals. 2022 runner-up. MSI 22 runner-up. MSI 23 semifinals. In those 73 games, he had a 4 KDA, 10 CS per minute, 63.9 KP. He does not stick out. He does his job. If not, actually, he excels. 10 CS per minute internationally, he is showing that I'm winning lane. He is dominant. Their MSI 22 kind of was rough, but Worlds 22 offset that. 486 gold per minute, 556 damage per minute. On average, internationally, he is ahead. 464 gold, 8 CS, and 53 XP, 6 solo kills in those 73 games. So that's a good indicator, right? He is gapping his lane opponents at 15 minutes, similar to Zeus internationally. Like, these players are really talented. It's a matter of can they get the job done in the finals, and that's just the thing. Support, there's Keria. I won't lie, I say it all the time, I think Keria is the most talented player in the world. I think he could play any role if he wanted to, and he shows it by playing crazy-ass shit at support over the last 2 years. Sejuani, Lee Sin, Camille, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked to see Xerath or Syndra. Who knows, something crazy, and it wouldn't shock me. Keria, I think, can play anything he wants, and then I don't think any player I can really say that about. 3.5 KDA, 75 4 KP. So 3 out of every 4 kills he's involved in. Oner, 4 out of every 5. This team fights together. 316 vision score per minute. On average, places about 8 to 9 wards every 5 minutes. A control ward every other minute, and clears 1 ward every 3 minutes. And that champion pool bit, Keria played 16 champions in 64 games this past split. Internationally, he's 54-28. Worlds 2020 would drop out in quarters, 21 semifinals, 22 runner-up. So that means 23 he wins, right? MSI 22 runner-up and 23 third, fourth. Across these 82 games, he has a 2.7 KDA, 71.3 KP. Vision score not as strong, 2.58. On average, still places 8 to 9 wards every 5 minutes, almost 3 control wards every 5 minutes, and clears about 3 wards every 10 minutes. So vision numbers aren't as good internationally as they are domestically. Competition's obviously stiffer, and he does, he doesn't get out of lane as much. So this team, obviously, threat to win. That's without a doubt. A lot of people are going to say, oh, no, they're not, or this or that. Well, if we even go down that path, they're finishing second. So good luck only one of those other teams you really like is going to finish ahead of them. If you want to follow that logic of they lose in finals, that means they are going to lose in finals. So accept that they're finishing second place, but people don't want to do that for a team they hate. Like, that's not something they do. So, it kind of doesn't make sense, right? So, T1, fun team. We'll see what happens at Worlds. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.